All right, let's dive into something I think we've all felt, a brain that is just completely, utterly burned out. We're going to walk through a really simple, science-backed way to power it down and get that precious focus back. Does this feel a little too real? You know the feeling. You're trying to unwind, maybe watch a show, but your mind is just going. It's replaying conversations, it's building tomorrow's to-do list, it's worrying about things you can't control. You're not alone in this, not by a long shot. Well, that feeling actually has a name. It's called a mental crash. It's basically when your brain gets so overstimulated that it literally forgets how to shut off. But here's the good news, the really good news. We can fix it. And today I'm giving you the exact toolkit to do just that. Okay, so first things first, why on earth does this even happen? How can we feel so mentally drained, just wiped out, even on a day where we barely got off the couch? The answer is pretty fascinating, and it's all happening right between our ears. And this is probably the most important thing I'm going to say today. It is not your fault. Seriously, this isn't about a lack of willpower or you not being disciplined enough. Your brain has just gotten stuck in the on position. It's caught in this state of constant overdrive, kind of like a car engine that you just can't turn off no matter how hard you try. So to figure out how to finally flip that switch to off, we've got to look at the science of our brainwaves. This is where we get to play detective and uncover the real culprit behind all that mental noise and exhaustion. So what in the world are brainwaves? Well, in the simplest terms, they're just the electrical pulses firing away between the neurons in your brain. You can think of them as the rhythm of your mind. And that rhythm changes all the time, depending on what you're doing, whether you're wrestling with a tough problem at work or just, staring out the window daydreaming. Okay, so this right here breaks down the two key players in our story. Over on the left, you've got beta waves. That's your overdrive mode. It's fantastic when you need to be focused and solve problems, but when it runs for too long, it leads straight to stress and anxiety. Now on the right, you have our hero, alpha waves. This is your reset button. This is the state of calm, creative, restful awareness. See, the problem isn't beta waves themselves. The problem is getting stuck in beta. Which brings us to the solution, learning to harness the power of alpha waves. This is the antidote we've been searching for. It's the key that lets us shift out of that exhausting, never-ending overdrive and into a state of real mental recovery. Now, let's be super clear about something. The goal here is not to achieve some impossible, mystical state of having no thoughts. That's not a thing for most of us. The real goal is much more practical. It's about control. It's about learning how to intentionally guide your brain out of that chaotic, high-energy beta state and into the calm, restorative rhythm of alpha. And to do this well, we need to work with our body's natural programming, its internal clock, or what scientists call our circadian rhythm. Our bodies are already designed to wind down in the evening. As the sun sets, our brain releases melatonin, the sleep hormone. The secret is to create the perfect conditions to help this natural process along, making that shift into alpha waves as smooth as possible. And that brings us to the most practical, actionable part of our whole explainer. I want to introduce you to the 3-2-1 power down. It is a simple, incredibly memorable, and science-backed rule you can use to kickstart that alpha reset every single night. I want you to think of this as your nightly flight checklist for your brain. It's a simple set of instructions that sends a clear signal to your mind and your body that, hey, it's time to prepare for landing. It's time to go from the busyness of beta to the tranquility of alpha. So let's break it down. It's so simple. 3 hours before bed, you're done with food and alcohol. Why? Because this lets your body focus its energy on rest, not on digestion. 2 hours before bed, no more work. Period. You have to disengage your brain from that intense problem-solving beta mode. And finally, 1 hour before bed, no more screens. That blue light from our phones and TVs messes with our melatonin production, keeping us wired. It's that easy. 3, 2, 1. So, you have the rules. But how do we make this an actual part of our life? Because following the rule once or twice is one thing, but truly mastering your mental reset is all about turning this into an effortless, automatic habit. So let's do a super quick recap. That mental crash feeling, that's your brain stuck in beta. The antidote? Learning to consciously shift into calm alpha waves. Your practical tool to do this every night? The 3-2-1 rule. And just like any other skill, consistency is what will turn this from a cool idea into a life-changing habit. And I think this quote just captures the whole point perfectly. Mastering this reset, it isn't about escaping your life or checking out. It's the complete opposite. It's about giving your mind the deep recovery it needs so that you can show up tomorrow more present, more creative, and way more engaged with your life. So I'll leave you with one final question to think about. When you do this, when you master this reset, and you get all that mental energy and clarity back, what are you going to do with it? How will you use your reclaimed clarity?